Hi guys, I am back with another one-off book review. Well, actually I have two to talk to you about today. Today I'm going to talk about two books actually that I recently read. I read both of these books in like a 24-hour time period. I absolutely flew through these books and I feel like I found a new favorite author, and so I had to talk to you about them. So I have When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. These are part of the When in Rome series. I think that's what it's called. And she just came out with a new book called Beg, Borrow, or Steal in January that's in this world, and then the last one comes out next year. So this follows a brother and his three sisters. Each sibling gets their own book, and the first book is When in Rome. This book follows Amelia and Noah. Amelia is a world famous pop singer, and she's kind of become disenchanted with her life. She feels like she doesn't really know who she is anymore. She doesn't even know if she wants to make music anymore. She has been running nonstop for the past couple of years, and she's about to go on a huge worldwide tour, and she just needs a break. And Amelia's thing is that she's obsessed with Audrey Hepburn and all the Audrey Hepburn movies, a girl after my own heart. And she's in her house one night, she lives in Nashville, and she decides that she's gonna watch Roman Holiday, which is an Audrey Hepburn movie where Audrey is a princess and she wants to escape her life, very similar to Amelia, and she takes off to Rome. Amelia's like, I'm gonna take off to Rome too, but the closest Rome is Rome, Kentucky, which I should have mentioned that all these books are set in Kentucky, which is where I'm from, which is kind of fun. And so Amelia takes off driving in the middle of the night away from Nashville up into Kentucky to Rome, Kentucky, and her car breaks down on the side of the road. And so she's like, what am I doing? I have no security with me. She normally has full 24/7 security service because she is that famous. She breaks down in Noah's front yard and she won't get out of the car because she's scared that he's going to like kidnap her. He's so annoyed that she's there, but he's so concerned with her not dying in her car because it's in the middle of summer. Her car is basically overheating, and he finally gets her to come out and like talk to him and figure out what she's gonna do. She ends up staying with him for a couple of nights because his grandmother's best friend Mabel kind of vouches for him. She's like, listen lady, Noah's fine. He'll take care of you, just like get out of the car and we'll figure it out. So her car is fully broken down, she has to get it fixed, and so for the couple of days that she's in Rome, she was going to stay at the town's inn, but Mabel runs the inn and she's playing a little matchmaker, and she's like, no, you can't stay at the inn, we're completely booked even though no one's there, like you have to keep on staying with Noah, fully trying to get them to spend time with each other. So it's definitely a forced proximity kind of situation, which I absolutely love. I love that trope in romance books. They just slowly start falling for each other, and it is such a good book. I really enjoyed how the relationship progressed. It felt like a very natural progression, even though it happens over the span of a week or so. Noah owns a pie shop. I was honestly expecting that to be more of a part of the story, but it really wasn't. It's just like a cute thing about him that he took over his grandmother's shop. But he has some past trauma with their relationship, and so does she, and they're both trying to learn how to trust people again, and to see them do that together, the author does it in such a good way. These are very clean romances. These are fully closed door romances, so there's no spice at all, but they're still really sexy, which is what I loved, because as much as I'm a little 50-50 on spice, like some of it I enjoy, but I feel like a lot of it I do not enjoy. Like Sarah J Maas' first couple of books I enjoyed. Court of Silver Flames, that was not for me. It just completely took me out of the story. But I enjoyed that this one had zero spice, but it was still sexy. Like you could still feel the attraction for each other, and you could see how that part of the relationship progresses throughout the story. I had a night off pretty much to myself, and I was just planning on, you know, watching a movie and going to bed. But before I did that, I was gonna take a bath, and I had just finished the book that I was reading, so I needed a new one, and I decided to just pick up this one to read while I was in the bath, and then I was gonna go on with the rest of my night. I got probably a fourth of the way into this book in the bathtub and could not put it down, and ended up finishing it that same night. So I completely binged this book, and it was so good. And thankfully I already had the next one, so I can go straight onto that. So the next one follows Noah's youngest sister Annie and Will, who is Amelia's bodyguard. So this book takes place a little bit in the future after Amelia and Noah have been engaged and they're about to have their wedding. Will is in town protecting Amelia during the wedding because there's a lot of press coverage around her and the wedding and fans trying to see her in Rome. And Annie has decided that she wants to get married and she is gonna start trying to go on dates. She hasn't been on a date in like 3 years or something, and she goes on this date at the very beginning of the book and it is an absolute fail. She cannot open up. You can see like within the writing that Annie feels very uncomfortable on the date. She doesn't know how to talk to this guy, and the date ends up ending early because the guy's having such a bad time that he makes up an excuse to leave. And on this date, Will comes in and he's like, why did that guy leave? And Annie's like, well, I'm on a date and it was horrible, and so the guy's leaving and I'm going home. And Annie goes home and talks to Amelia and says that, you know, she feels like she's so inexperienced with dating, she doesn't know what to do. Annie's nickname is Angel Annie. She has a reputation of being like the good girl, the sweet, innocent one that never gets in trouble and is always so perfect. And she really struggles with that because she feels like it puts her in a box, and she doesn't want to let her sisters know that she's dating. She's just a little unsure with what to do with her life and going into the dating world and how to break free of that Angel Annie reputation, because she wants the ability to like be herself without having to fall under the standards of what her reputation is, to be like the perfect little good girl basically. Amelia concocts the idea that Will should be Annie's dating coach because Will is very experienced in the dating world and he goes on a lot of dates. He's kind of America's favorite bodyguard. Like, he's very hot and sexy and has a sleeve of tattoos and basically the complete opposite of Annie. It is very much bad boy, good girl situation. So Will agrees to be Annie's dating coach, but obviously feelings start to arise when they're practicing going on dates and practicing talking and even kissing, and it's just a very sweet story. I personally think that I preferred When in Rome over Practice Makes Perfect, which I think is actually the opposite of what a lot of people enjoyed more. I think most people enjoyed this one more, and I did really enjoy this one. I think I just really loved this one, and I loved the chemistry between these two, and these two felt like they should have been together within the second third of the book, and they just like wouldn't make the jump. And so that was the only thing that I didn't absolutely love about this one, but this entire world and this author's writing is so good. And so if you all don't enjoy spice in books but you still enjoy romances, I would definitely recommend these. Sarah Adams knows how to develop a character and knows how to give a character things to work through, and somehow works through them in a very realistic way. Even though these books are pretty short, I think these books hit right at 300 pages, so you don't have a lot of time to develop characters, but she does it in such a great way. I was just very impressed by her writing, and they're very fast-paced, they're very easy to get sucked into. The entire town is adorable. It's very similar to Gilmore Girls, where each person in the town is like its own character and has a very distinct personality, and you kind of learn to love the side characters too. And yeah, I'm really excited to read the last two books in the series. So Big Borough Steel is already out, which I have not read yet. That follows Emily, who is the oldest sister, and then Madison, who is the middle sister, gets her book released in January of next year. So I'm really excited to read these. I am most excited to read Maddie's. I think I'm gonna really enjoy her book. I have not picked up Emily's book yet, just because I think she's probably my least favorite sister. I have a feeling like this book is going to change that, and I'm sure I'll grow to love her in the book as well. But yeah, I just thought the writing in these books was great. They were so fast-paced, so fun, but still very emotional and sexy without being too spicy, and I was just very impressed by the writing in these books, and I wanted to tell you all about them. So, When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect, and the covers are just too cute. As always, if you have read these books or you decide to read these books, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought or what you did think about the series, and that'll be it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!